reporting live from the liquor store over here at HTM Sports. How is everybody doing? Woo, Jesus, man. So as you see, man, free agency has started. It's tampering season. No holds bars. Everybody trying to get everybody, except for the damn Dallas Cowboys. Yep, you see the title. Cowboys ain't did shit. Cowboys have not signed anybody. Have actually lost a player off their team. So we're gonna jump right into it, man. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, please go ahead. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share the content, please. We're trying to grow the channel, trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers. Right now we're at 551. I appreciate the love and support so far. And if you have it to give, I'm going to put the Cash App into the chat box. So we're gonna get right into it. It's Hennythemoor for donations. Boom, pinned it. But yeah, we're gonna talk about the moves the Dallas Cowboys did make because they cleared some roster space. They did not sign a single soul, but it is what it is. Hey, Brian Kite, what's up with you, man? I appreciate you for tapping in with me. But yeah, matter of fact, let me add the elevator music in. I gotta add my elevator music in while we talk. Cause I don't just like hearing my stuff. Hey, what's cracking, Chill Bill? I see you, my boy. All right, we got the elevator music rocking, so let's get into it, man. It's feeling like one of those off seasons already, man. Dallas Cowboys, their mantra: we like our guys. So the Dallas Cowboys, the only move of note that they have made so far is that they went and they've restructured Michael Gallup. Now, by restructuring Michael Gallup, the Dallas Cowboys saved $7.4 million against the cap this season. So, there are some positives to that, and there are some negatives to that, man. So, the positive is, of course, you save money against the salary cap this year. You open up $7.4 million in cap space, right? So, you have the extra money to play with. The downside, though, there was an out in Michael Gallup's contract for next season. So if he did not play well, this season, Dallas Cowboys could have got out of his contract next year. But because they went ahead, they restructured the contract, like you are going to be stuck with Michael Gallup next year, regardless of what happens, right? If he does not look like Michael Gallup again in year 3, then there's no way out of the contract at that point. So, it's a give and take. It's a double-edged sword. Like, you have the cap to play with. You can sign players to improve your team. But at the same time, like, if Michael Gallup underperforms this year, he is going nowhere. So, there is that. But, I just want to talk to y'all about some of the moves that have been made, right? Some of the things that have been going on around the league. The Dallas Cowboys could have did the same thing, man. Hey, Hoodlum, you said it right, bro. Same old Cowboys, man. I'm tired. They ass, man. Yeah, the front office is definitely ass. Like, when you compare them to other, front offices that are trying to actively improve their team, that are making off-season moves to improve their team. Like, it's very disheartening. And, like, there's a bunch of guys that we wanted, right? There's a bunch of guys that we could have signed that ended up on other teams already, and the Dallas Cowboys have made no moves. They have not signed their own players. They have not signed any outside help in free agency. The only thing they did was made a move to clear cap space. A move that they could, and they actually could have did this move like days ago. They did not have to wait to restructure Michael Gallup. They could have restructured Michael Gallup the same day that they restructured Dak Prescott and Zach Martin. So, I don't even know why they dragged their feet and did that. Hey, Regina Green, I appreciate you for tapping in. Brian Kite, yeah, you got to have the tunes, man. Like, it makes it easier for me to think. Playing this little elevator music in the background. But no. So, one of the moves that happened this today that a lot of people aren't talking about is Patrick Peterson. Patrick Peterson was one of our targets. There was a guy that me and Landlord looked at. We did film breakdown on him. We looked at his numbers. We went to the analytics behind the season that he had, and he graded out great across the board. He was a great cover guy. He had 5 interceptions this year. He gave up under 600 yards. only gave up 3 touchdowns. Like, he played great football this year, despite his advanced age, despite the amount of time he's been in the league. He still played at a very high level this past season. Well, Patrick Peterson is no longer an option for the Dallas Cowboys because he signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? And if you go and look at the contract, see what he signed for, it was easy money. Let's pull it up so I could tell you the exact amount. Let's see. So he signed a 2-year deal. I'm trying to get the numbers on the deal. Give me 1 second. Because it's peanuts. All right. He signed a 2-year deal with the Steelers. It can't be that high. I'm not finding an exact figure on it. But point is, like, Patrick Peterson was a target. He was not an expensive player to go and sign. Double R, what's up with you? I appreciate you tapping in. He was not an expensive target. And, you know, the Dallas Cowboys let him slip through his fingers. And what's even worse, you know, about them not signing Patrick Peterson is Patrick Peterson is one of the few guys that actually wanted to come and play in Dallas. Like, he did an interview recently. He said he would love to play for the Dallas Cowboys. But, you know, I guess, you know, we didn't reach out to him. Because he wanted to play for a contender. He wanted to play for at least 2 more years. And he wasn't requesting top level money because of his age and because of his you know, willingness to go to a contender. So that's definitely a guy that we missed out on. You know, I actually did expect him to be on the board longer, but, you know, it is what it is. Tavis Banks said we better not be surprised for doing nothing in free agency. I mean, it's the norm. You know, that's the normal Cowboy procedure, not to do anything in free agency and then bank the future of the team on rookies, right? You know, we've done this time and time again. We did it with Dak and Ezekiel Elliott. You know, we did it with CeeDee Lamb to an extent, right? We did it with Michael Parsons. Like, all the holes on our teams, we filled them with rookies. Even last year, DaRon Bland, you know, and he played exceptionally well. But, you know, DaRon Bland was a 5th round pick. And no, he started a lot of games for you. So the Dallas Cowboys, and I get it, you know, they haven't been burnt by it yet. But, you know, they have a bad tendency of relying on rookies and young players to play, you know, outstanding in their first couple of years for us to be successful. I don't like that. Yeah, I saw that the Texans had signed Robert Wood. I'm doing pretty good tonight, Matt Madden. He also said, Boss Cowboys say we don't need good wide receiver now. Say Gallup are going to win a Super Bowl. I think he was being a little facetious. Like, I definitely do think that we need another wide receiver. And listen, it does not even have to be. Yeah, that's the Cowboys' way, though. Yeah, I think he was being sarcastic. Yeah, but, you know, I think we definitely need a better wide receiver. And this is the thing, like, we don't even need the best wide receiver in football. We just need somebody that can actually get 600 yards or better, right? Because CeeDee Lamb was the only wide receiver you had, you know, that went over 600 yards. Of course, he had over 1,300, but everybody else had under 600. Like, your second receiver, you know, in terms of yardage was Noah Brown. Like, overall, it was actually your tight end Dalton Schultz, but out of the receiving core, like, they both struggled last year. They both struggled to get separation. They did not create a lot of explosive plays for you. So, you know, in that context, you definitely need a wide receiver. And, you know, you never know. Like, Jalen Tolbert may take the next step in his development this year, but the problem is that you can't just rely on that. You know, that's why you need to bring in another receiver. Like, you're betting, like, right now, with the way that the roster is currently constructed, like, you're betting on Michael Gallup to return to how he looked 2 years ago, because he was not healthy last year and he was not healthy the year before because he missed multiple games, right? So, you know, there's no telling, you know, if you'll get the Michael Gallup from 2020, right? There's no telling you get that Michael Gallup. And you have not seen anything from Jalen Tolbert right now. So, you know, it's cool, you know, to expect player development and to expect guys to shake back from injury, but, you know, that cannot be your go-to. You have to have an alternative. You have to have a backup plan, so to speak. Because if both of those things don't happen, if Jalen Tolbert does not develop, and if Michael Gallup still looks like he's not the Michael Gallup that you paid, then you're going to be struggling again at the wide receiver position. So and listen, the only thing I asked the Dallas Cowboys to do this offseason, is to improve is to improve over Noah Brown. Right? You can get, I'm not saying that that he didn't say it. I'm just saying that, I don't agree with that. That's all I'm saying. I do not agree with that at all. But yeah, so and listen, all we have to do at the bare minimum is get a better wide receiver than Noah Brown. He was your second leading receiver in terms of yardage. You can definitely find somebody that's better than Noah. I like Noah, but there's no way in hell that you can sleep good at night with him being your number 2 or being your number 3. Noah Brown is your number 5 is what he's good at. Right? We saw that in 2021 when Noah Brown was your 5th receiver. He came in and made an occasional splash play. Right? He made a nice little 20-yard play here, nice little 10-yard play here. Right? So he said Trey Palmer. I seen Trey Palmer. He had a great combine. He had a real good combine. So, I like that. But, at the same time, a lot of these guys, in the combine, they look good running around, running routes against air, running fast 40s. All that is cool. But, just like we seen with Jalen Tolbert, who was a top 100 pick, just because, you look good at the combine or you got good college tape, does not mean that you will translate, to the NFL level right away. So, that's why I would prefer to go out and get a proven wide receiver. Even if it's just a proven guy that is like a role player. Hey, DC for life. What's up with you, my guy? I appreciate you tapping in with me, brother. So, yeah, they need to address that. And there's way too many good wide receivers out there right now. Right? We're not asking for the world. Even if the Dallas Cowboys don't go out and get DeAndre Hopkins, even if they don't go out and get Jerry Jeudy, even if they don't go out and do this, that, and the third, there is a laundry list of wide receivers that are better than what we have right now. There's a long list. Or at least there's a long list of people better than Noah Brown. Right? Because we're not asking much. We're not asking much at all. Now, I would love for the Cowboys to go out and, swing for the fences and trade for Jerry Jeudy. I would love for them to swing for the fences and, get DeAndre Hopkins. But, dog, if we're realistic, I'll take anybody that can give me more than 577 yards and 3 touchdowns, which was what Noah Brown gave you. I would take a flyer on DJ Chark. Who once upon a time was a Pro Bowl wide receiver and had over 1,000 yards, right? I'll take a flyer on Mecole Hardman, who played on 2 championship teams and runs a 4-3 and can give me something on special teams as well, right? Hey, what's up with you, Dwayne Brown? I see you, man. I'll even get somebody like Paris Campbell. He does not have great numbers, but the 1 year that he was healthy, he put up over 600 yards and had 3 touchdowns, and that was better than what the hell Noah Brown gave me. And he's a 4.34 guy. So, those are just random guys off the top of my head. They're not, all-star wide receivers. They're not franchise type of wide receivers. But, they're better than what we have. And, that is the key thing, is improving over the personnel that we currently have on the roster. And you know what? I do think that they will eventually address the wide receiver position. Because, there was talk about them regretting, letting Cedric Wilson walk in free agency last year. According to James Slater, the Dallas Cowboys seem to regret letting Cedric walk. And I bet they did. Cedric Wilson was an intricate part in this offense. He went for over 600 yards, had 6 touchdowns on the season, had multiple 100-yard games. And, he was a guy that could line up in the slot. In trick plays, he was a former high school quarterback, so he could throw the ball down the field on trick plays. So, like you missed that aspect of having Cedric Wilson around. He was a big receiver, had decent speed, could line up in the slot, line up in both the outside wide receiver positions. So, I think that they did drop the ball with Cedric Wilson, especially for the amount of money, they paid Michael Gallup, right? Like Cedric Wilson contract was much more valuable. HTN come up, Boss Sports say we don't need a good receiver too. Well, I will respectfully disagree. Respectfully. But yes, like the proof is in the pudding. Like they're talking about fumbling the bag with Cedric Wilson. They also mentioned that they probably mismanaged the Amari Cooper thing. So in their minds, I think they will address the wide receiver position. But I don't think it's going to be addressed in the way that we want it to be addressed. Knowing them, they're going to go out there in the draft, and they're going to probably use assets in the draft to bring a wide receiver in. That's usually how they try to improve, areas that we lack in. So I don't even expect them to do anything in free agency about it. Realistically, they should, but we never really know. And this is actually verbatim what they said. This is Marcus Mosher. He said, according to Slater NFL, who is Miss Jane Slater, the talk at the NFL Combine was that the Cowboys regret letting wide receiver Cedric Wilson get away last offseason. So yeah, with they've been talking a lot about wide receivers, right? They brought up Amari Cooper. They brought up expecting Michael Gallup to take a step forward after injury. They mentioned that they regretted letting Cedric Wilson lead the door. So there's a lot of talk about wide receiver. So just with them running their mouths about that position, I really do expect them to assess that in the draft. It may not be the first round pick to be used on it. May not even be a second round pick, but I think they might try and use a top 100 pick on wide receiver again. Even despite the fact that Jalen Tolbert is on this team, I think they're going to look at wide receiver. Or maybe hopefully they surprise us and they make a move that actually matters. So another area that actually surprised me is that somebody actually gave Connor McGovern a contract. If y'all did not know, Connor McGovern signed a 3-year, $20-something million deal with the Buffalo Bills to be their guard. And listen, Connor McGovern, I wish the best to him. But we did not think that Connor McGovern was a good guard. I don't think he graded out well at all. Oh, matter of fact, hey, let me give a shout out to DC for Life with the $5 donation. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the love and support. And we'll go to good use. And remember, everybody, I will be going to the NFL draft next month. All right, to put in the days for it. Everything that y'all seeing will be used for the expenses of going out there to the draft to bring y'all quality Cowboys content. So whatever y'all have to donate, it will be used for that. I appreciate the love and support, and I thank y'all for everything. So yeah, so looking at Connor McGovern, like he was a decent pass blocker last year. He played 909 snaps. He only had 1 penalty. He allowed 2 sacks. Overall, he graded out as a 52.2. That is because even though he graded out as a 74.8 as a pass blocker, his run blocking skills were left much to be desired. Even on a curve, this was bad. He graded out as a 42.7 as a run blocker, which was putrid. And a team that likes to run the ball as much as we do, that was a problem. Like we were one of the teams that ran the ball the most in the NFL. I think we were top 5 in rushing attempts. So he got exposed in that aspect of his game. He did not fare well at all at that. So he played 812 snaps at left guard for us. He played 88 snaps at center for us, and he even took 8 snaps at right guard. So he played a lot in the interior for us. But that is a guy that I do believe that we can upgrade. We can upgrade that position fairly easily. Like, he was a subpar guard, and I think there's an area that we can easily improve on. And even if it's something as simple as moving Tyler Smith back to the left guard position, like I believe that Tyler Smith right now, his development is a much better guard than McGovern has ever shown us to be. So, more power to Connor McGovern. I'm glad that he's got some money, because I know damn well the Cowboys were not going to retain him for the price that he got paid for. But it is what it is. The Cowboys can easily go out and improve their position by doing something as simple as moving Tyler Smith back to his natural position. A lot of y'all forget though, Tyron Smith was slated to be your starting left tackle. Tyler Smith was supposed to be your starting left guard. And that was going to be the left side of your offensive line to start the season. All of that changed when Tyron Smith went down with injury during training camp. So they moved stuff around, they moved alignments around, and that's how they end up coming to be. But right now, with the Cowboys working out a restructure with Tyron Smith, with Tyler Smith, still healthy in the second year of his development, I think that would be the starting offensive line for next season. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'm not really upset about that either. Like, I am one of the people that wanted the Cowboys to move on from Tyron Smith, but because of the lack of talent at that position right now, you got to go with what you got. And Tyron Smith, when healthy, he's still one of those special players. Like, he's still a top 10 left tackle. He's still a top 10 left tackle when he's on the field. My biggest complaint is that he has not been on the field a lot, but that still holds true. When he's out there, like, he's one of those special left tackles. He may not be a superhero no more with that next level athleticism, but he's still a guy that when he get his hands on you, like, it's over with. So I would gladly, let Tyron Smith stay. They are working on redoing his contract, right? Y'all saw the show that me and Landlord did, where we tried to build a team in free agency. We didn't do any trades. We didn't look at any draft guys. We just restructured contracts to clear cap space, and then we went out and signed guys. Well, the exact cap hit that we said we would have saved on restructuring Michael Gallup is the exact cap hit that actually happened. Like, when we did our mock, a restructure on Michael Gallup saved us $7.4 million. So, we got the numbers right off the website we were looking at. So, that's a nice tool just for the average fan to use if you wanted to. If you want to look at these players' contracts, and you want to see when they have outs in their contracts, what would happen if you cut that player, what would happen if you traded that player at this date or that date, or extended the player, like, you can find all that at Over the Cap. And it looks like those numbers are actually accurate. So if you want to do your own research and be a more well-informed fan, I would definitely go to Over the Cap and take a look at that, because so far it looks like those cap hits are right. So with that said, if the Dallas Cowboys were to restructure Tyron Smith, they would save $6.2 million against the cap. So they would save a nice bit of money, and they could retain Tyron Smith. And listen, if he's making under $13 million this year, you're not going to care that much if he misses a couple of games here and there. Like, at this point, I'm okay with Tyron Smith giving me 10 games and being present for the playoffs, because that's really the best I can ask for at this point. That's really our best option. That's the best that we can ask for. So, beggars cannot be choosers. Same thing with Ezekiel Elliott. If you restructure Ezekiel Elliott's deal, you can save quite a bit of money on that side of the ball as well. Looking at it, Ezekiel Elliott, if you restructure Zeke, you can save $7.3 million. That how much a restructure on Ezekiel Elliott saves you. Now you'll be with Zeke another year, more than likely. But you'll get to keep Ezekiel Elliott's 12 touchdowns. He won't cost you $16 million against the cap. You get $7.4 million back to shop. And you won't have a lot of turnover in your running back room. And listen, you had a productive running back room before the injuries to the offensive line and before Ezekiel Elliott, hurt his leg, like they both were they both were averaging over 4 yards a carry, and they did very well as a tandem. So you don't have to start from scratch in that department. You can go out there, get some money back, go shopping, improve your team, and still keep the production that the player gave you. Because I don't care what anybody say, I will keep Ezekiel Elliott over Malik Davis at this point. Like, I know what I get from Zeke. He probably would have eclipsed 1,000 yards again this season if he had not missed two games with injury, and if he wasn't hobbled by injury in another game. So I think that keeping Ezekiel Elliott, is a decent move for the Dallas Cowboys. I think it's a decent move for the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. So yeah, that's one way they can go about it. But let's look at some of the other moves that done happen around the league. There were some players that I was interested in that are no longer on the open market. They're no longer on the open market. So I know one big move that you saw was Tremaine Edmunds. Tremaine Edmunds was a starting linebacker for the Buffalo Bills. He just, signed a nice contract to play with the Chicago Bears. So Tremaine Edmunds, who was a big free agent, guy that we were targeting, is no longer available. Like, he was one of the better players outside of Bobby Wagner that was out there. Tremaine Edmunds is a guy that played a lot of meaningful football. The Buffalo Bills have been in the playoffs for the past couple of years, and because of that, he has a lot of playoff experience at this point. When you look at Tremaine Edmunds, he's a 6'5" linebacker, only 24 years old at this point in time. And let's take a look at his numbers. Like, he was somebody that I really wanted. I really wanted Tremaine Edmunds, man. So last season, and it looked like it was a down year for him last year. Nope. Even despite missing 4 games last year, he had 13 starts. He still had an interception. He still had 7 passes defended. He had a sack. He had 102 tackles. He had 6 tackles for loss. 3 quarterback hits. So he played damn good. He only played in 13 games. So, Tremaine Edmunds was definitely a guy that would have been an upgrade, over Leighton Vander Esch at this point. Nothing against Leighton Vander Esch, but you know how I feel about him. He said, what else is new? You already know this team doesn't do big splashes. I won't be surprised if they redo Zeke's contract for 3 years because Pollard going after this year. It's a very good possibility that Pollard won't be here, if he does not get a long-term deal. But, I do think, there's still time for the Dallas Cowboys to rework Tony and sign him to a long-term deal. Because the man has a broken leg right now. The running back market is not great right now. So it actually would be wise for the Dallas Cowboys to sign him to a long-term deal. And if you sign him to a long-term deal right now, you actually lower his cap hit. Because you sign him to a long-term deal, you can rescind that franchise tag, which was fully guaranteed at $10 million. And the first cap hit on this long-term deal will probably only be like $3, $4, $5 million at the most. So you can save quite a bit of money just by giving Tony Pollard a long-term deal. So I don't understand why they weren't able to to reach out and get him signed, because he has no leverage. He's injured. The NFL is actively trying to reduce the running back market. Like, look at it this way: the league leading rusher is only going to get $10 million this year. So technically, by you also giving Tony Pollard the tag, right, he's going to make the same amount of money as the running back that just led the league in rushing, who had over 1,600 yards. So they're going to be making the same amount of money this year because you tagged Tony Pollard and they tagged Josh Jacobs as well. And I love Tony Pollard, but I don't think as a runner that he is as good as Josh Jacobs is as a pure running back. Like, Tony Pollard is very explosive. I actually think he would be a good receiver because of his track record of being, an explosive return specialist in college and also playing mainly, wide receiver in college as well, who moonlighted. I hope we get B-Wag. Now that is one thing. That is the only positive. Well, there are only two positive things that are going on right now, maybe three. The Dallas Cowboys, they are reporting that they do want to keep Donovan Wilson. Right, they're still trying to work something out with him. I don't know if it's actually going to happen or not. Hey, Johnny Herrera, what's up, my guy? I appreciate you for tapping in, man. I said, why not get our running backs in this year's draft? I'm sure that they will bring in a running back in the draft, right? In a 7-round draft, in a draft where we have 9 draft picks, I'm sure like one of them will be a running back. That it might even be a possibility that one of them could end up being decent. But when I'm talking about competing for championships, I always want to have at least a couple of veterans on the team in that position. I want to have at least a couple. So you need somebody with some playoff experience. You need somebody who knows what to do with the game on the line. That's already been coached up by a good offensive coordinator for a couple of years. That knows in-game scenarios, like all that stuff, plays into it. So I feel like Wagner going back to Seattle. Dallas don't want to spend any money. Yeah, it's a possibility. I'm going to hold out hope for Bobby Wagner because he instantly improves this defense. Like adding an all-pro player to your defense, at any level, regardless of his age, that's invaluable. Like that's very important. He brings so much from a leadership standpoint. There's not a lot of things that he has not seen on film before. When it comes to the offensive sets and how teams will try to attack him. So having Bobby Wagner just elevates this team. But do I think it'll actually happen? I don't know. The Dallas Cowboys have reached out to Bobby Wagner. They have gauged his interest. Wagner is interested in coming to Dallas. The Cowboys are interested in him. But the report pretty much said that the money has to make sense for both parties. So Bobby Wagner, he played for $10 million last year on a $10 million a year deal, 5 years, $50 million. I think you should sign him to like a 3-year, $30 million deal. Just keep Bobby Wagner for the rest of his career. Let him develop. Right, let him develop with the help him. Let him help the development of these other young linebackers. What I'm trying to say, like he's a leader. Probably gonna have a gold jacket. He's an all-decade player. Like they can learn a lot from somebody like Bobby Wagner. So you should sign him for as long as he wants to play. If Bobby Wagner expects to play for 3 more years, you sign Bobby Wagner to a 3-year deal and you sleep good at night. And then like Bobby Wagner is a guy that you have not seen a lot of drop off in his play. Like he literally made an all-pro team this season. He's not going to go from being an all-pro last year to being ass this year. Like that stuff does not happen. Like people talk about players falling off a cliff. It don't happen like that. It's either an injury or something, that, causes them to take a step back in their production. Bobby Wagner played all 17 games last season. He's completely healthy, in great shape, playing at an extremely good level. The Dallas Cowboys will be damn fools to not sign Bobby Wagner if he wants to come to Dallas, even if they have to give him a little bit more money a year than they were planning to. If Bobby asked for 3 years, $36 million, like dog, that is a discount. Like the other teams, yeah, Michael Gallup restructured and saved $7.4 million against the cap. But hey, Keystone, this is one thing to note with that though, because they restructured him, they no longer have an out in his contract. Meaning, if he sucks this year, or if he's just not the guy, that he used to be, and he underperforms, like they're stuck with him. They had an out in his contract for next season, but it's gone now. It's gone now. They're going to be stuck with him to at least 2025. Said if Catboy signs Bobby, I will shut up on Catboy. Oh yeah, like listen, I don't even ask for much in free agency. Like I understand that you have to bargain shop with some of the guys that you do bring in. Like you're not going to sign like all the good players. I understand that. The problem is the Dallas Cowboys don't sign any good players during free agency. Like, that's the issue. If they sign Bobby Wagner and then they sign like a low-level wide receiver like Paris Campbell or DJ Chark or somebody like that, then I think it's a good offseason because you fill the hole at two positions. You got better at wide receiver 3 than Noah Brown, right? You have a respectable wide receiver with some speed there by doing that, and then you also have a true middle linebacker, that can lead the defense, because middle linebacker is basically the quarterback of the defense. So he'll be the guy with the green dot. He'll take the green dot from J-Run Curse. He'll call the defensive audibles. He'll get everybody lined up. And you can sleep good at night with those moves, right? I don't expect them to go out here and get every damn good player. I never expect that. But I do expect them to at least be competent enough to bring in one very good player, and then you fill in the rest of the roster where you can. You cut corners where you can, but you don't cut corners at middle linebacker. You don't cut corners at defensive tackle because you actually need a good defensive tackle. You don't cut corners at left tackle. Like, there are certain places that you don't cut corners at. The problem with the Dallas Cowboys is they try to be cheap at every position, and that does not work out for the most part. They need to do something wise with money. They adding up by restructure. Bobby Wagner would be great. Listen, I want y'all to understand this, right? I'm gonna pull this up because me and Landlord, if you watch the show, I'm gonna keep bringing it up. We cleared a lot of cap space just by doing a couple of moves. We only did like 4 moves, and we saved $26.5 million against the cap. Right? We did not we didn't even do all the things that were humanly possible, because all we did when we did our mock free agency show, we restructured Tyron Smith and saved 6.2. We restructured Zeke and saved 7.3. We restructured Michael Gallup and saved 7.4, and then we cut Jordan Lewis and saved 4.7. So that was $25.6 million that we saved during our mock show. There are other moves they can actually make outside of that. The Dallas Cowboys can actually clear $40 million in extra cap space. Like, there are moves that they can make to clear up to $40 million. So, like, the Dallas Cowboys, I think they'd be stupid for signing Julio Jones. Julio Jones ain't got nothing left in the tank. Like, we actually seen Julio Jones not do a thing. So listen to this. These are other moves the Dallas Cowboys could make, right? They can also restructure DeMarcus Lawrence and save $9.22 million. If they rescind the tag on Tony Pollard and they sign him to a long-term deal, they actually save $7.2 million against the cap doing that as well. So those 2 moves, along with the other moves we already mentioned, restructuring Zeke, restructuring Tyron Smith, they already restructured Michael Gallup. Dallas Cowboys can save over $40 million. So theoretically, the Dallas Cowboys, who are already $14.7 million over the cap, could have damn near $60 million in cap space. Like, they would be close to having $60 million in cap space if they made those moves. Will they do it? Probably not. But there are plenty of ways. Yeah, because you're already at $30 million right now. Like, you can literally get over. You can literally get close to $60 million overall, because they already did the restructure with Michael Gallup. Of course, they already did the Dak Prescott and the Zach Martin moves to get to the 14.7. So, don't let them sit here and tell you they don't have money. That's why all these other teams are able to sign these guys and then turn around and just clear the cap space. Because remember, if I'm not mistaken, the 49ers only had $3 million in cap space, and they signed Hargrave to an $84 million deal. They ain't got to have the numbers right until Wednesday. They ain't got to have numbers right till Wednesday. So they got 2 more days to worry about that. They got him on the team. They'll restructure people contracts afterwards. Right? They'll work on his cap hit afterwards. So, don't ever let the front office tell you that they don't have money. It's not true. And matter of fact, no fan should actually believe the Dallas Cowboys when they're talking, because every player's contract and salaries are public knowledge. You can look it up. You can look up when they have outs their contracts. You can look up their incentives. You can look up their salary cap hits. You can look up their guaranteed money. You can look up everything about these players' contracts. You can look up how much money a team saves by cutting them. You can look up how much money a team saves by restructuring them. You can look up how much money a team saves by giving them an extension. Like, all that stuff is public knowledge. So only lazy fans, actually believe that the Dallas Cowboys don't have any money to spend. Give me 2 seconds. Somebody knocking at my door. All right, y'all. I'm back. He said, facts, the cap don't exist. Yeah, man, the cap is a figment of everybody's imagination. Like, cap ain't real. Technically, it's real, but it's like the border in between towns, right? The cap is like the border in between towns. Like, it's there, but it's really not like a fence or anything. Like, you just know on a map, like, this is a boundary. You cross this far into a place, you're in this place. Like, it's like an imaginary line. Like, you can really alter that stuff. It's like it's in your mind. It's in your mind. That's why he said, yeah, it don't take long, man. Like, the door right there. Like, yeah. But yeah, man. The Cowboys have money to spend. They have a lot of money to spend. Like, I did the hard work for you. I did the math. I told you the move that they can actually make. I told you the exact number of money they can save. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. Also, more news around the NFL. More news around the NFL. So you've seen that the divisional rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles, have gotten worse so far. They lost their starting linebacker in TJ Edwards. He also signed with the Chicago Bears. They lost their starting safety, Epps. He signed elsewhere. Of course, they lost Javon Hargraves. He was their defensive tackle who had 11 sacks. So they took a step back. The issue, however, is the San Francisco 49ers are the one that signed Hargrave. So that dominant defensive front that they had already is going to get better. It's gotten a lot better. They already had the ability. Yeah, Marcus Epps went to the Raiders. Thank you very much. So yes, they already have the ability to stop the run. But now they got a defensive tackle that can actually rush the passer as well. They have all kinds of rotations they can use at this point. All kinds of different rotations that they can use. So they're going to be a very formidable team next year. And listen, they already were a very formidable team. But it's gonna be rough trying to deal with them, man. It's gonna be real rough trying to deal with this team. Yeah, they're trying to get the Fowler's contract done too. And no knock against Dante Fowler. I think he's a great player. But he's rotational. He's rotational pass rusher, my guy. Like, I really feel slighted. They should be trying to work out something with Donovan Wilson first. Like, Dante Fowler, like, no disrespect at all, because I think he's good at the job that he's in. But I think I can replace the production that Dante Fowler gave me. I'm not sure that I can replace the production that Donovan Wilson has given me. Don't forget the Eagles have 2 first-round picks. They would trade to get what they want, unlike us. That's a possibility. It's a possibility. But and yeah, I like Dante Fowler too. But I just think like I can replace like 5 or 6 sacks easier than I can replace 101 tackles and 5 sacks. Because Donovan Wilson led your team in tackles. He was like 3rd on your team in sacks, tied for like 3rd on your team in sacks or something like that. Then he also had an interception, multiple passes defended. Like, he did great. He said Donald won't be back. Those two safeties went for 14 plus a year. Well, that's the Dallas Cowboys. Like, listen, the market for a good safety is the market for a good safety. You have to spend what you got to spend. He did his thing. Yeah, like he did great as rotational player. He did real good as rotational player. But I just think that I can just play Sam Williams more and get more production, right? Because Sam Williams had like four sacks in like less snaps, so I'm not mistaken. It said Donald won't be back. I want him back though. Like it's probably not going to happen. But I really would need them to keep him. Because you already have not addressed the linebacker position. And Donovan Wilson, with as much big nickel as he plays, as much as he's in the box, like he really is like a linebacker for you. He really is like a linebacker for you. So would you already probably going to lose Leighton Vander Esch? You can't also lose Dono too. So it's like somebody has to stay. Even if you sign Bobby Wagner, I still would like to keep Donovan Wilson. Because he's played exceptionally well. He has the playoff experience now. Yeah, like I definitely would replace, more Sam Williams with Dante Fowler stabs. And I just thinking about the way that the front office thinks, Sam Williams is cheap as hell. Dante Fowler is a grown ass man with grown ass bills. He needs his money. Sam Williams is on a rookie contract. Like he ain't gonna make a ton of money. So I'm really surprised, with how cheap our front office is that they're even considering bringing Dante Fowler back. I actually honestly think it's a Dan Quinn move. I think Dan Quinn is really fond of Dante Fowler. I think he wants him here. I think he's a driving force about them trying to get this contract done. Really, because he came here for Dan Quinn. Like Dan Quinn coached him in Atlanta. He liked him. He brought him in. He needs that cheddar. Let him walk. Yeah, I think Dante Fowler, has a bigger market outside of Dallas. If they get anything done with Dante, I think it's because of Dan Quinn. If they get any kind of discount from Dante, is because the influence of Dan Quinn or him wanting to play on this defense. We all know that the Joneses are very cheap, and this actually is a move that does not fit their motto. When you have cheap players at the same position, they like to try and get those cheap players onto the field. That's why people are Hoodlum said firing Hennythemoor was our free agency. Man, that's some old bull. That is some old bull. That does not need to be our free agency. Because we still we're gonna be running a different offensive system at this point. We're gonna have different sets. We're gonna be running a true West Coast offense. So we need guys who actually fit their scheme. Unless they're gonna go in the draft and devote the entire draft to revamp the offense. But we still have holes on the defense, right? We still need a linebacker. If you talk about letting Donovan Wilson go, you're gonna need a much better safety. He said, "No, for real, Johnny." I'm like, nah, like it don't need to be that way, and hopefully stuff happens. Hopefully stuff happens, because I can't foresee the Dallas Cowboys not adding anybody in free agency. Like they add some people in free agency, but like they have to do better. They have to do much better in free agency. Because for every J-Run curse that you find, you have another Dontari Poe, right? Because you can't just live in the garbage bin. You can't live in the garbage bin and expect to come up, with Gucci every time. You just can't go dumpster diving behind these designer stores and try to find what you need. Like sometimes you're gonna come up there with some bullshit. So Cowboys have to do something in free agency. It may not be the biggest splash play, but there are players better than what we have. There's players better than Leighton Vander Esch's on the open market right now. Devin Butcher's still out there. Bobby Wagner does not want $100 million, anything crazy like that. He's very affordable, right? There are other linebackers. Devontae David, who is older and was just injured last season. I don't think he's asking for top linebacker money. Like, there's a lot of guys that we can bring in that are better than LVE. Same way, there's a lot of wide receivers that are better than Noah Brown. Just get me something better than what I had last year, and we can work with that. Steven and Jerry remind me of Julius from Everybody Hates. They too damn cheap. Too damn cheap. Yeah, Eric Kendricks. I don't think Eric Kendricks wants a lot of money. So, man, they just have to be better. So let's see if there's any updates, around the league, in regards to these damn Cowboys. See if there's any new free agents move. Oh, well, it's over with. Eric Kendricks just signed with the Chargers. Eric Kendricks just signed with the Chargers. I'm looking on it right now. God damn. Oh, God forgive me. Eric Kendricks is gone. Everybody can't keep calling me. Like, everybody can't call me. Well, that was another target that we just missed out on. So, we did content on Eric Kendricks. We looked a little bit on him. We broke his numbers down. Eric Kendricks is a linebacker that only had 3 less tackles than Bobby Wagner did last year. Right? So, man. Ooh, it gets worse, little by little. Teams are still making moves. Teams are still signing players, except for the Cowboys. At this point, at least listen to me. We already made the joke that the Dallas Cowboys are so cheap, they're probably going to sign a couple of XFL players. Like, they already did it. They already went and signed Kevontae Turpin. So, you know what? They're not above it. 1.34 with salt on the floor. $1.34 with a salt on the floor, man. Yeah, like the Dallas Cowboys would be the type of team to fill up on XFL players and act like they just had next level scouting and just found a gem. Like, I love my team, man, but I hate our front office. Like, I respect the players. I respect what this organization has done. But listen, day one of free agency feels like all or nothing at this point. Like, a lot of these guys, I expected to be around, later into the free agency period. Like, it's not even officially free agency right now. He said it's not even funny no more. Nah, it ain't never been funny. It ain't never been funny. Let's see. Yeah, I don't get it, man. No, I would like at least for once for the Dallas Cowboys to take the offseason seriously. But no, there is another player that we were looking at that's gone. Patrick Peterson, is gone. Like, he would have been a cheap veteran fixed who had a great season last year. I already seen it. It's on the wire. I'll read you the report. Yeah, NFL already reported it. Eric Kendricks to sign with the Chargers. NFL. The official NFL Twitter page posted this. I mean, we have one more day, but like, if all of the players that we actually are targeting are gone, right? If all these deals are like, listen, it's 7:47 where I'm at, and people are still making plays on players. So, like, we can say what we want. Yeah, see, the Cardinals just signed another player. They just signed Zach Allen. They reached an agreement, 3-year deal. Yeah, so They're signing. People are signing players left and right, man. Why the Dallas Cowboys do nothing? Another player we know that we talked about as being somebody that can come in and add value and be an upgrade at the position of need that we have, it's gone. And if the Cowboys keep letting guys get signed, like it's gonna continue to go like this. It's going to continue to go like this. You're gonna be upset. You're gonna be irritated with the Cowboys, frustrated. And listen, we'll know what kind of team that we have, by the end of the offseason. Right? Unless they but Marcus Golden. Listen, like these are the positions that the Cowboys, actually need to fill. They need a veteran at cornerback too. I believe you. Like, we ain't tripping on that. We need a veteran at cornerback too. We need a veteran defensive tackle. We definitely need a veteran middle linebacker. And you need some kind of upgrade over Noah Brown at the wide receiver 3 position. You might even want to try to get an upgrade over Michael Gallup. But those are the 4 moves that you can make in free agency, and then you can everything else in the draft I'm cool with. Because if you're going to just start Tyron Smith at left tackle and Tyler Smith at left guard, then your offensive line is solidified. I'm not worried about that if you do it like that. But everything else, I need a veteran cornerback too, because the other guys, listen, you started 7 different damn corners last year at the second cornerback position. You started 7, right? So obviously by the moves that they made, you're gonna have to go out there and get somebody. Right? Defensive tackle, like you're the 22nd ranked run defense in the National Football League. Obviously, you need a run stopper in the building just by the move that you've been making. Like the type of guys that we brought in, those are the exact guys that you need to get. He said, at least sign bit. Man, you wildin'. We ain't get a soul. We have not gotten a soul. The Cowboys got cap space. That's all they got. You see the title, Cowboys ain't do shit. I was not playing. Ain't did a damn thing yet. Only thing the Cowboys have done is watch guys that can actually come in and help us win sign to other teams. They sat on their hands with a very easy deal for Patrick Peterson. Went through with the Steelers. They sat on their hands a very easy deal to get Eric Kendricks. He signed with the Chargers. So like as the hours go by, the options to improve the team, become less and less and less. And we're not even talking about top guys. Like these are some guys that Dallas Cowboys could have signed in their sleep. Like these are contracts that Jerry Jones could have did from his yacht, and he's refusing to do so. I think Tober would be great this year if I'm not betting a whole season on it. Yeah, like I think Tober can be a better wide receiver this year. I just need more security than just Jalen Tolbert. Like I need more options than just Jalen Tolbert. Cowboys like that slow cousin. All they do is stare at you. They do nothing but stare at you. Yep. And listen, I did not even want Hargraves because Hargraves was a horrible run defender this season. That's why they brought in Sue. That's why they brought in the other boy to try and secure the middle of their defense. Right. So like he didn't grade out great as a run defender. And when I'm looking at defensive tackle, since that's where I'm lacking at, that's what I need my defensive tackle to be good at. So I wasn't tripping on Hargrave. But Hargrave going to a team that just beat us, right? Adding a different dimension to that team, adding him as a luxury, that's different. So I do get why you brought up Hargrave, but I don't think he was a fit for us anyway. Mind you, I wouldn't have mind signing him, but I don't think he would have fixed our run defense. You're totally right. Thank you, Double R. Come with receipt, guys. We can't back Noah Brown too. He failed us. Yeah, listen, Noah Brown, and you really can't blame Noah Brown for being Noah Brown. Noah Brown played the best football of his life. The problem is his best was not good enough. The man is a career special teams player. He's a former 7th round pick. Yeah, I saw that. Y'all went and got Patrick Peterson. We saw that you went and got Patrick Peterson. That's why I said the Cowboys sat on their hands. They did nothing. At least go find Julius Randle. Dog, y'all you wild in the chat, bro. Yeah, we missed out on Patrick Peterson, missed out on Eric Kendricks. Really missed out on Cam Sutton. He didn't ask for a ton of money. He signed a 3-year, $33 million deal. And we definitely needed another cornerback. So yeah, I'm not happy at all at how the Dallas Cowboys. Patrick Peterson like 32. But even though he's older, like he played at a very high level. He had 5 interceptions, only gave up 3 touchdowns last year, gave up under 600 yards. So yeah, I like what he did. He said he's 33. Let's see. He probably a little older too. Well, as of today, he's 32. I think he does turn 33 this year though. He's 30. Yeah, he's 32. But listen, age ain't nothing but a number. That boy went out there and played his ass off. And we can't be talking about age and we want to sign Bobby Wagner because Bobby Wagner is around the same age as Pat. HTM, but look at the bright side. Now we know who the problem has always been the front office. Probably been the front office for years at this point. We know that though. We definitely do know that. Yeah, man. I don't know. Every time I look at the damn, he said I need to start drinking. Yeah, man. I would have loved to have. Listen, I don't care about age. I care about production. Patrick Peterson was one of the more productive cornerbacks last year. He just played on a bad defense. Like it's not his fault that the Vikings couldn't rush the passer. Like he will play his ass off with the Steelers because they have a pass rush. Same thing with Bobby Wagner. Like you can't say anything about Bobby Wagner's age because he was selected as an All-Pro. He was second team All-Pro. That means that the 50 voters, that's the same people that voted for the MVP, they felt he was the second best linebacker in the National Football League. Don't y'all let this team get y'all upset. I don't let them get me upset, bro. Like I hope for the best and prepare for the worst. That's how I got to be with the Cowboys. Love my team though, man. I wake up every day hoping that they prove me wrong. But you know, more and more, it's more of the same. They're gonna try and sell you on their own guys. Like knowing the Cowboys, they'll let Donovan Wilson walk, and then they'll try to sell you on Marquise Bell or some bullshit like that. Right? Like they don't like paying anybody. They don't even like paying their own players. Listen, they already, have turned the fan base against Dalton Schultz, even though he's been top 5 in production the last 2 seasons. They got y'all sold on Ferguson and they got y'all sold on Hendershot, who have not, shown you that, over, that they can do what he does. They've been able to do what he does in short stints, but they have not shown you that they can do it consistently. So we'll see how this plays out, man. Everyone making moves, and we flatline, man. And that's the issue, man. And it's not even us asking. I will understand that we were asking for guys that we know were going to be the highest paid players at their position. We did not ask, for guys that are going to reset the market. Bobby Wagner only made $10 million a year last year. Peterson, is not playing for a lot of money. I know Eric Kendricks did not sign for a lot of money. Look, I love Dalton's production. Like if Andy Dalton was not productive, I would not give a damn about him. But Andy Dalton puts up numbers. And as you know, this is a show about numbers. So if you are productive, I don't give a damn what your name is, or if it's popular to dislike a guy or not. I don't care about none of that. If you're productive and I think you can help my team, I want you here. So, that's how I feel about that. Is it? Yeah. Listen, Hoodlum, I will understand we didn't have money either, but we have plenty of money. Like, we have the ability to get over $50 million in cap space. So, like, we have the means, we have the money. We need the guys at the position. Cause listen, we brought multiple defensive tackles in last year to try to help our run defense. It didn't work, right? So they tried and failed to fix the position. It didn't work. They tried to bring in multiple cornerbacks to play the outside corner. It didn't work. So I get it. They need to be more proactive and actually going out here and filling the holes on defense. Really filling any of the holes on the roster. Nah, listen. Cowboys are worse than trying to go shopping on food stamps. They are window shoppers. They're window shoppers. Y'all remember that song "Fit to Drop" back in the day? That's who the damn Cowboys is. Like, they gonna say that they reached out and did their due diligence on this guy, or they'll tell you, they were this close to getting the deal done. They ran out of time, and don't believe none of that. The Cowboys, they do nothing, and then they try to save face in the 5th hour. In the 25th hour, I mean. So, you can't, and it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating because, there's so many good players, that you can go out there and get for minimum money. So it doesn't make sense to me. All right, so there are some other moves being made. Jameis Winston actually re-signed with the Saints. I did not see that coming. Well, that's good for him. He said, "For real, effing window shopper. Mad at me. I know why." Yeah, man. Jerry Jones, 50 Cent. Boy out here. Let's see. Well, there is something also brewing. I don't know if the Dallas Cowboys will do it, but Jerry Jeudy, who landlord put it on my mind, would be a good fit for us. He's actually is on the trading block right now. The Dallas Cowboys were, allegedly trying to trade for him. JC Cowboys Network, what's up with you, man? I appreciate you for tapping in with me, my brother. So yeah, I don't know if the Dallas Cowboys will actively try and acquire his talents, but he would be a very, very, good signing. And he's a guy who's a former first round pick. He's explosive. He's a good route runner, and he has been productive without stellar quarterback play. I also saw that Austin Eckler wanted to trade. And, if the price on Austin Eckler isn't too bad, I would reach out for him. I will reach out and get him, because Austin Eckler fits the style of play we will be running with this West Coast offense. If I'm not mistaken, Austin Eckler had over 100 catches this season. So, he fits. And listen, the West Coast offense is generally called the long handoff for a reason. Hey, Joe Tranchina, what's up with you, man? I appreciate you for tapping in with me. Hey, I appreciate you for sharing the content, my guy. Thank you for the love and support. Yeah, we definitely need a wide receiver. NFL rumor, Cowboys are targeting Bobby Wagner. Say, we'll just sit here in misery together, man. We'll go through here, see if there's any other moves being made, see what happens. But yeah, for y'all who are late to the show, Tremaine Edmonds is off the board for us. We needed improvements at linebacker. He is off the board. Right? Eric Kendricks, who only had 3 less tackles than Bobby Wagner did last year, He is off the board, right? Patrick Peterson, who had 5 interceptions and only gave up 3 touchdowns last season, he is off the board. So as time moves on, slowly but surely, our free agent options are drying up. Like the Dallas Cowboys cannot, survive sitting on their hands, and waiting for the second wave. Like the second wave this season is shaping up to look, worse than ever before. Now that we lost our guard to Buffalo, do you think we're drafting one with our 26th pick? Nope, I don't at all. You know why I don't think so? Because the Dallas Cowboys originally drafted Tyler Smith to be their guard. And the only reason he didn't play guard last year is because Tyrone Smith got hurt. Because Big Tyron, tore the damn muscle off his knee. So, because of that, given this opportunity and not having to use another premium pick on that position, I think that they're going to start Tyron Smith at left tackle as long as he stays healthy. They're going to start Tyler Smith at left guard. They're going to keep Biadasz at center, keep Zach Martin at guard. And I think they're banking on Terrence Steele to be ready to play by week 1. So I think that is your starting 5, along the offensive line. So pretty much your projected starting offensive line for last year is going to be your projected starting offensive line for this year. I think that they're, and listen, this is going to actually really depend on what they do in free agency before I know what exactly they're going to target with 26. If they sign a wide receiver or they trade for a wide receiver like D-Hop or Judy, they're not going to turn around and use the number 26 pick on a wide receiver, right? Same thing. If Bobby Wagner is your signing and you sign up to a multi-year deal, you're not going to get a linebacker at 26. If you sign a good corner, which I don't know who was possibly left because Jalen Ramsey already been traded. Patrick Peterson off the board, Cam Sutton is off the board, so I don't really know who that would be. But anyway, if you were to go and sign a corner, then I don't think they use pick 26 for a corner either. Desmond Ironman said, if healthy, I like the lineup. I think getting a swing tackle would be great to rotate and ease load. I believe so. Right? I think that would be a wise idea. Because listen, if you're going to keep Tyron Smith, I finally came to grips with it. If you keep Tyron Smith, you definitely have to sign a swing tackle. Because I just want to change one. I just want to change one person out. If Tyron Smith gets hurt, then I just need to put my backup left tackle in. Because if you bump Tyler Smith back to left tackle when he gets hurt, you still have to put another guard in. So that's changing 2 positions instead of 1. So yes, you definitely need to have a swing tackle, on the team if you're planning to restructure Tyron Smith and keep him around multiple more seasons. So I definitely see the merit in doing that. What do they do in free agency? Exactly, Dwayne Brown. You got it 100% right, brother. What they do in free agency will determine, how they spend that number 26 pick. He said sign Elijah Wilkinson for $4 million and redo Tyron Smith's deal. Pay him with it. We have other guard. Okay, that wouldn't be a bad move. Oh, Eastside Hero, you still trying to peddle Cooks to us, man? I don't even want them. I don't even want Cooks. Like if I had to trade for somebody, I'll trade for D-Hop. I'll trade for Jerry Jeudy. But before I give up picks for Cooks, I'll give up picks for D-Hop or Jeudy. Jeudy for the upside because he's still young. He ain't even finished his rookie deal yet. D-Hop because he's a superior player. So it's like before I trade for Cooks, those are my trade targets. So let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any other free agency news popping up on the timeline just yet. I'm trying to see if we done lost out on any other players, man. As sad as that sound, but we're losing ground day by day. Yeah, I'm good on Cooks too. Like, if I'm going to give up assets, I can get more bang for my buck at other places. Now, unless they finna give me Cooks, they want to let Cooks go for a 5th round pick or something. Yeah, I'll do that. If I can give up a fifth and get Cooks, I'll do that. I'll give you a fifth. Might even give you a fourth. But I'm not going to give up a second and a late round pick like I would for D Hop. I'm not going to give up, and they might even want a first round pick for Jerry Jeudy. But like I don't know, like Jerry Jeudy is pretty damn good. Like he might be worth a first round pick with his upside. With his upside, he might be worth it, especially if you're going to use number 26 to target, a wide receiver. If you were going to use your first round pick to target a wide receiver, then I might give it up for Jerry Jeudy. But yeah, I wouldn't give shit. Excuse my friends, I wouldn't give nothing up for that boy. No, he ain't worth it. And listen, I'm gonna get off that subject, man. I'm not even gonna talk ill of the man. I'm not gonna talk ill of him. But yeah, I'm actively looking to see if any other news that came across the screen. If I see any other heartbreaking news, real quick, I will share it with you. Let's check on Adam Schefter to see if there's any other developments. I hope we get Jeudy too. It makes perfect sense. I told you, salary cap is a lie. Buffalo Bills have made a move. They have restructured Josh Allen and Von Miller contract, and they created $32 million in salary cap space out of thin air. So, salary cap is not an issue. It's an issue if you let it be. And there's a bunch of linebackers coming off the board too. David Long has signed already. Alex Singleton. Duke Riley. Crazy. All right, man. Well, I'll be depressed on my lonesome now. Y'all done sat here and listen to me ramble about these Cowboys for over an hour. I appreciate y'all for your love, support. Continue to share the content, like, subscribe. If it's on your heart, the Cash App is in the chat box. It's Hennythemoor, $Hennythemoor. If you want to donate, remember we will be going to the draft in April. Me, West Coast Cowboy, and landlord from Alabama. So anything you seeing will be used for that purpose. So again, I appreciate y'all for everything, and I'll probably be back later on. Peace.